Call to order the regular meeting of the Dale City City Council for February 3rd, 2025. Joe, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Dean. Here. Councilwoman Finch.
Here.
Councilwoman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Tatum. Here. Mayor Eason.
Mayor is here. Would you rise, please, for the invocation?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the many blessings that you will bestow upon us all. We ask that you bless, protect, and keep the men and women in our armed forces, the citizens and employees of the city of Dale City, and especially those involved in the horrific airplane accidents that took place in our nation early last week. May you provide hope and healing to the victims, families, and the first responders. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We have a special treat tonight. The Dale City High School Navy ROTC is going to present the colors for us. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Color guard, present the colors.
Aye, Captain! Gary! Guys! Ready, cut! Forward! March!
Dip your flags a little bit.
Cover! Up! Left! Face! Breathe it! Guys!
Josh Schultz, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Absolutely. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gary! Guys! Ready, cut! Right! Face! Forward! March!
Captain, you got a great group. All right, you may be seated. We have a proclamation I'm going to read here shortly, celebrating President's Day, which is upon us. Whereas on this President's Day, we celebrate the leadership, vision, and enduring contributions of those who have served as President of the United States. From the nation's founders to our modern leaders, the presidency has been a symbol of resilience, progress, and unity, shaping the course of our shared history. And whereas this day invites us to reflect on the sacrifices and accomplishments of leaders like George Washington, who forged the path of independence, Abraham Lincoln, who preserved the Union during its darkest hour, their courage, wisdom, and dedication remind us the responsibility we all share to uphold the ideals of democracy and justice. Whereas we honor the past, let us also look to the future with determination, inspired by the principles that have guided our nation through challenges and triumphs. Together, we reaffirm our commitment to liberty, equality, and opportunity for all. Now, therefore, I, Floyd A. Eason, Mayor of the City of Dale City, do hereby proclaim February 17th, 2025 as President's Day and encourage all citizens to join in honoring the leaders who have served our nation. Okay. Let's move on to item number 4 on the agenda is public and council input. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the council on a non-agenda item?
Ron McCall, 3403 South Wolford. I just want to give a shout out to the Public Works Department on the great job they've been doing on picking up the bulk trash around our city, particularly in the area that I live. I even noticed them out today. So shout out, thanks to you very much, and good job, keep it up.
Thank you, Ron. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council? Josh Schultz. State your name for the city clerk, please.
Josh Schultz, 4321 Spiva Drive. So today went and attended the governor's 7th State of the State on behalf of Del City. Was really honored to be there again, and he delivered his message on what he would like to see in the forthcoming legislature. I've informed the city manager of a couple municipality bills that are being addressed in the legislature this year, so to keep them updated on how those go. And that would affect us as far as ad valorem, taxes, and of course medical marijuana, which has always been a big topic, and as well as addressing the homelessness crisis. So we'll be updating everybody as those things go forward. This Thursday at 8 a.m. at Middale Youth and Family Center, we will be having our coffee connection with the chamber, so be sure to be there. Darla and her staff do amazing work on behalf of the kids of Middale, and we truly appreciate them, so it's going to be a good time to be able to mingle with them and some other members of the chamber. And then next Thursday at 11:30, we will be having our business bite at Casa Juanito, which you'll hear more about later tonight. And so be sure to be there and enjoy some great food. They have amazing service. They've been a staple of Del City. People travel from all over the state to come eat at Casa Juanito. So be sure to be there next week. That for right now, that is all I have until later in the program.
Thank you, Josh. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on a non-agenda item? Seeing none, Councilman Tatum.
I just wanted to mention that I've been invited by the Midway Village Neighborhood Watch to take a drive with them through Midway Village tomorrow morning to address some of their concerns, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's about all I have.
Very good. You know, Midway Village, that's where I live. So
I know.
You're my councilman.
A lot of problems over there.
Take care of us over there. Wait a minute. Councilman Brown.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Councilman Finch.
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Dean.
I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce plus Josh for putting on the legislative luncheon. And so I attended that, and then we had both of our senators for Congress, and then also our congressional representative as well. They were there, and so their offices helped describe and so forth. So I was able to actually ask and find out about additional programs and different ways that they can actually help our city. So it was very worthwhile, and appreciate you guys doing it.
Thank you. Well, I attended the Martin Luther King Jr. prayer breakfast Saturday morning, and that's really an amazing show. If you get a chance to go to that next year, please go, and hopefully Del City will have a table there next year. And it was a good breakfast and a lot of good speakers. I enjoyed it and look forward to next year. All right. Moving on to item number 5 is City Manager's Report. City Manager, what do you got?
A couple of updates for everyone. Just a reminder that all city offices are closed on the 17th of February in honor of President's Day, which means our city council meeting will be moved to Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, which would be the 18th. So please make sure if you would like to attend that you don't come on the holiday. I've had a couple of folks that have sent me messages asking about the federal grants and federal monies that are currently happening with the President's executive order. Does that affect the city of Del City? It currently does not. I know there's a holdover injunction in the court, and we'll let all that stuff play out, but all of our funding is still moving as it needs to be, so we're good there. We've also had a couple of citizens reach out asking for an update where we can about the potential county sales tax to fund the jail. We are getting as much information as possible, and then we'll be providing information to the citizens in the coming days. So please monitor Facebook for that whenever we can get that information out there, and I'll give updates at the council meetings as soon as we have more information. Last but not least, on the council side of things, the assistant city manager and I got to attend the city managers conference that we had, our winter workshops, and the 2 big classes that we got to take, as I already gigged Leah here for the ability to talk to the media, so I learned quite a few media tricks. The most important being that give them a headshot because they will not Photoshop in your favor. So I've learned to make sure I have a predetermined headshot. So Kyle and Karina, if you could help me with that, that's one of the biggest ones. And the other one that was a 2.5-hour class was communicating with your police chief and how we can work together. So Chief, thank you so much. We already started the communication process. It's fantastic, right? I loved it. It was actually a very good course, and I really appreciated that. So that is all I have for council, and I will move on to city clerk.
Nothing at this time.
All right. City attorney, tell us everything.
Nothing at this time.
All right, you can't beat that.
That's dangerous to say that to a city attorney.
That is true. Director Gandy, anything for economic development you want to give before the EDA? Perfect.
Kyle Gandy, Community Development Director. There was a Facebook post this weekend that was referenced a couple of times in regards to Ray Trent Park and some equipment that isn't in tip-top shape. City manager and I took a drive over there today. From a distance, I mean, there's some upkeep that needs to happen, but overall that park is in really good shape. There is a swing that needs to be replaced. The equipment is aging, so it does not look perfect, but it is, the park overall, I would give it a 85 to a 90 if I had to give it a grade. So those things are being addressed. Please continue to bring those. CJ, Cameron, Ethan all do a great job over at the community center monitoring our parks, and so I was actually aware of that post fairly quickly. Just want to address that publicly. So thank you.
Kyle, just a second, a little bit more information. Did you see anything that was unsafe?
I did not see anything unsafe.
Thank you.
I will say that 2 weeks ago, we're very proactive. CJ is, he's out there often with his crew. We just replaced what I would have considered something unsafe just a week or two ago. So if there is something that is unsafe, it gets addressed immediately.
Very good.
So,
all right, thank you.
Any other department heads hiding in the wings that I don't see before we move on to Chief Berger? Going once, going twice. Chief, it's all you.
Good evening. Not a whole lot for you tonight. I'll give you a couple handouts here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We've had a pretty busy month. Beginning of the month, we had our quarterly meeting with the Dell City High School, and we do these on about every quarter just to make sure that we're staying on top of safety and security issues with them. They bring things to us, we bring things to them, go back and forth with it to make sure that we're doing everything we can for them and same in return. If you haven't seen any social media, we have a polar plunge coming up the 22nd of February. That'll be out at the Whitewater Park off there at 540. It's a fundraiser for Special Olympics, and they have different teams you can put together. A lot of it is law enforcement, getting in there and raising money for your Special Olympics. Out of all the teams in the metro and the state that have come together, we are currently number 4 or number 5. We're number 4 in the state for fundraising. We had a goal of $1,000, and we've already reached that. Just about an hour ago, we were at $1,835. So we have surpassed our goal. We're number 4 in the state right now over several different major police departments and so forth. So continuing to grow on that. We've got about 16 members of the department signed up to go out and jump in the cold water. So we're ready and getting to go on that. You see, one of the things I gave you there was traffic enforcement stats. And at previous council, you may remember that I put out, and I wanted our motor officer working some of these traffic lights and that. running stop signs, running traffic lights is our number one cause of accidents, and we kind of wanted to make a heavy presence in that. And this was conducted just by our one lone motor officer right now. So you can see the different intersections that he worked and the different kind of issues that he dealt with there, as far as 118 for disobeying a traffic signal. So and you can see one of the biggest intersections there we had the problem with is I-40 and Sunny Lane.
Yep.
So we will continue some of this in the future with different things like this, but this is just one of the things that we've recently done and doing some focus enforcements on that. When we do these, we'll put it out on social media, make sure everybody's fully aware of what we're doing and where we're at and why. So you also got a handout on SOAR, and that's coming this, was it Thursday or Wednesday? Thursday. And that kind of gives you an idea of what's going to happen over at Del City Middle School. So if you could make it out there, that'd be greatly appreciated, but we're getting involved with them, and hopefully this will turn out to be a great program also. And I found out just before I come over, and I sent the city manager a link to it. If you go back to when, was it last summer, maybe last spring, we had our Trilogy Award from the FBI LEDA, and the executive director from FBI LEDA was here and presented it. That article was put in the Municipal Magazine, which is a national magazine for all municipalities, and it is in there, and I shared a link with the city manager, so go check it out. It's got some great photos in it and just an article about it. But anything that you all need out of me?
Yes, Chief. With these traffic signals that are not being obeyed, is there anything that we could do you think, that could help? Is it just operator error for the driver, or could we change our lighting? Is it, maybe the lighting, maybe we need more stripes on the streets, warning signs prior to arriving to these signs, just anything? Can we fix it?
I don't know that we can fix it. We can make a dent in it. I think the sign, and I believe it was Councilman Tatum that brought up there at I-40 and Sunny Lane, the flashing sign, I think that's helped drastically with that. So that was good there.
And that was a really proactive measure on his end that we just said, okay, this, enough is enough, let's just do something, and if it has to flash, unfortunately, it's going to have to flash for people to recognize that you can't take that turn.
And this is a nationwide problem. I don't know where it changed in it, but people obeying traffic laws for speed and traffic signals and stop signs has taken a drastic turn over the last 5 to 10 years that they don't care. And they just drive and to get where they're going. So it's going to take some major enforcement, and we're trying to be part of that and getting people's pocketbooks with citations, and maybe it'll take them, save a life.
And I think these kind of reports are really important for us as well, to just get the word out for people and to see where we're going to be at. And I know this is with the new software that you've got, but it's great to be able to see where we're going to be at next year.
Yes.
With this, or even just in 6 months.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
That no turn on red sign at Sunny Lane and I-40 is pretty bold. It shows, if they run that, that's not through ignorance. Yeah.
Failure to pay attention, just driving, not paying attention to their surroundings.
Yeah.
And that's
Thank
what
you,
gets
Chief.
people hurt.
Thank you. All right, you're finished, City Manager?
Yes, sir.
Going to move on to item number 6, the minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve minutes of the regular meeting of the council of January 21st, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Tatum?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item number 7, recognition, Navy Junior ROTC, Del City High School. Presentation and discussion regarding recognizing Navy Junior ROTC of Del City High School as to recent awards and recognition. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve recognizing the Navy Junior ROTC of Del City High School.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. I get to start this off with a recognition. You guys are just amazing, and I'm going to tell you something. It sure makes me feel good about the future. Oh, there you are, standing around the door. I'm going to read this, and then if you want to say something, you can meet me up at the podium. That'd be all right. The recognition proclamation is, whereas the Dale City High School NJROTC program has demonstrated exceptional dedication, discipline, and excellence in fostering leadership, citizenship, and character among its cadets. And whereas the Dale City High School Navy ROTC has achieved the prestigious Distinguished Unit Award, a recognition bestowed upon the top 10% of NJROTC programs across Texas, Colorado, and Oklahoma, reflecting the program's commitment to exemplary standards and distinguished service. And whereas during the recent area manager's inspection of cadets, the Dale City High School NJROTC earned outstanding overall ratings as well as outstanding ratings in every category, exemplifying the cadets' remarkable preparation, teamwork, and execution. And whereas the cadets, instructors, and leaders of the Dale City High School NJROTC have consistently upheld the highest standards of performance, serving as role models within their school and community, and bringing honor and recognition to Dale City High School and the city of Dale City. Now, therefore, we do hereby recognize and celebrate the Navy Junior ROTC Dale City High School for their exceptional achievements and commend their hard work, dedication, and commitment to excellence. Captain, if you'd like to meet me at the podium. Is there anybody here that does not know John Kilby? He's world famous.
I know about that. So can I bring my cadets up?
You can absolutely bring your cadets up. I didn't know if you wanted to say something or.
Oh, okay. Yeah, come on up, you guys, real quick. That includes you, Cole. All right, this is the color guard, and then Cole is part of us. Okay. So you guys come on over here next to the mayor, and you can, yeah, you guys good over there. Okay, so that's our commanding officer. His name is Sebastian Stanton. Operations officer is Cole Childers. Special shout out to his dad, Senator Childers. Eva Black is our XO. Our supply officer is Zenoria Daves, and Amari Price does everything. So here's the deal real quick. As these kids over the last 3 years, Mr. Mayor, have done 300 color guards all over the state of Oklahoma.
Wow.
And it's impressive to see that. Everybody calls us. The president of OCCC, her inauguration. I mean, they've been to the state capitol. They did Medal of Honor Day at the state capitol. They've done it all and representing Dell City, which is the important thing for you all to realize. And in the school, I mean, here's the, let's see, Cole was the Eagle of the Month. So, you know, our kids, and then Eva and Sebastian were Junior Rotarians of the Month. So these kids are also leading in the school, and that's a special thing. And also shout out to all the parents that are here, because you're lugging your kids here and there, and you know who I'm talking about. So, but it's a great honor to represent Dell City and our high school. So I think Sebastian would be happy to take the presentation.
All right.
And we thank you all for the presentation. Thank you, school board.
This is the recognition proclamation that I just read. And I just want to add to that, we're very proud of you guys. We just absolutely love what you do, and you do it so well. Every time I've seen you guys present the colors, they've just done an outstanding job. And I just want to say thank you for representing Dale City High School and the city of Dale City. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir.
one more thing to do here, and I got to tell you, I've been waiting to do this. I'm absolutely excited. I'm as excited as probably John is. This is very exciting. Let's move on to item number 8, recognition, key to the city, Captain John Kelty, retired. Presentation and discussion regarding recognizing Captain John Kelty, retired, and awarding him the key to the city for his dedication to the city of Del City, members of the Armed Forces and the Navy Junior ROTC at Del City High School. Do I hear a motion for the presentation?
Make a motion that we approve recognizing Captain John Kelty and awarding him the key to the city for his dedication to the city of Del City, members of the Armed Forces and the Navy Junior ROTC of Del City High School.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion is approved. I'm going to read this proclamation, and then, Captain, I'd like to meet you at the podium. Whereas Captain John Kelty has dedicated nearly 30 years of exemplary service as a pilot in the United States Navy, culminating as Commodore of Strategic Communications Wing 1 at Tinker Air Force Base, exemplifying unwavering commitment, leadership, and the indomitable American spirit. And whereas through his service, Captain Kelty has embodied the values of courage, patriotism, and the selfless pursuit of freedom, inspiring airmen, sailors, and civilians alike with his steadfast dedication to duty. And whereas his dedication extends beyond his military career to uplifting the next generation of service members, emphasizing the enduring importance of sacrifice, morale, and unity. Whereas his impactful contributions to the Navy Junior ROTC program at Del City High School has led them to attain the prestigious Distinguished Unit Award, a recognition bestowed upon the top 10% of the Navy Junior ROTC programs across Texas, Colorado, and Oklahoma, emphasizing the enduring importance of sacrifice, morale, and unity. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Floyd Eason, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of this great city of Del City, proudly present Captain John Kelty with the key to the city, symbolizing our gratitude and the open-hearted welcome of our community. May it serve as a testament to our collective respect and appreciation for his outstanding contributions to our nation, our community, and the enduring legacy of freedom. Hand me that. John, I don't know who's going to smile bigger, you or me.
I'm certainly surprised.
I am so proud to present this.
Oh, that's
I've been
awesome.
waiting for this for some time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
This is, let's take the wrap off of that. Can we do that? Here, help me open that up.
Okay.
There you go. John, we don't give these out very often. In fact, I think it's been 2 years since one has been presented. And
Wow.
each one of these keys are numbered. We have a record of where it's going and who's getting it. And I can't think of anybody that deserves it more than you.
Wow.
You are a symbol to our community, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And that's the key. John, this key actually fits the janitor's closet where the mops are stored. So, that's just to keep you humble.
Okay, I like to hang out there.
Thank you,
Can
John.
I make a couple comments real quick?
Say what you like.
So first of all, Mr. Mayor, this is wonderful, and your board as well. Thank you so much. I accept this on behalf of my cadets and the ROTC program that are cleaning up your Sunny Lane whenever they get a chance. You know, a lot of people who aren't residents throw stuff out the windows and throw it. And our kids are there to clean it up, and You know, they help out with the Kiwanis pancake breakfast. They do a lot of things to help your community, so we're thankful that we are able to do that. One last thing that I wanted to tell everybody is that we have come to due to Mr. Mayor and some of his predecessors' work, we've come to know that there are 20 young men who live in Del City that answered a call to duty. They raised their right hand, they went to serve our country during the Vietnam War, and 20 were killed in action. So with that, I asked the Oklahoma Military Heritage Foundation if we could have a Robert Kalsu chapter of the Military Hall of Fame here in Del City, which, oh wow, there's Bob Kalsu, yeah. So we started off with a statue. We raised $150,000, of which you all were big contributors to that, and we built a statue over there with the hope of inspiring high school kids. He stood for everything that's good about America, but you know, he was one of 20, and so we need to take care of the other 20. And so we have started a fundraising campaign, and we're in the process of getting plaques about this size that we're going to also put inside this, the area where his statue is, and in hopes that the kids will, again, continue to be inspired by the work of and the sacrifice, and in some cases the ultimate sacrifice of some of the Eagles that have gone before them. So we have that going down on March 29th, which is Vietnam War Era Veterans Day. We will have a ceremony, and we will dedicate those plaques. We have located 2 sisters of 2 of the kids that were killed back in the 60s, soldiers that were killed back in the 60s, and so they will be there to help us unveil. And then we even have some kids that are going to be taking the oath. They're going to be raising their right hand. One is right there. Sebastian, raise your hand. United States Marine Corps. Eva, Black, United States Navy. So let's see, the rest of you, no, okay. So at any rate, so this is awesome. Thank you so much for this, and that's really cool.
The council is giving this to you
Holy
as a gift, and we want you to take this.
Oh, God.
And John, you've been an inspiration. You were the spear leader, the head leader on the Kalsu statue, and we appreciate what you've done for us.
Oh,
in
you're
that
so
aspect.
welcome. It was my honor. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very, very much. How'd you pull this off without me knowing?
We're going to take a 10-minute recess so that we can have cupcakes and shake hands with the captain, and we'll have a 10-minute recess and we'll reconvene. Have a cupcake.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you, man.
Okay, we're back. Now back in session from the recess, and now I will entertain a motion to recess to Dale City Economic Development Authority.
Make a motion, we recess the Dale City Economic Development Authority.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean. Aye. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We are now recessed to the Dale City Economic Development Authority. Let me get on the right. There you go.
Boss, don't give her that gavel.
It's too late.
This is the Dell City Economic Development Authority. Joe, will you please call roll?
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Eason.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Tatum.
Here.
Chairwoman Finch.
Here. Thank you, Joe. At this time, is there any public input? Oh, hi, Josh.
Josh Schultz, 4321 Spiva Drive. There was something I wanted to say that it slipped my mind. We had our planning commission last week meeting, and so for the first one for the year, and I would just like to commend Andrew Myers for being so diligent. I got onto the planning commission in late 2022, and I've never seen anything so thorough. He gave us a ton of information that we could actually study. He gave it to us in a good amount of time so we could read over it, and communicated with us, and was able to answer our questions.
Nice.
And it was a refresh, and I just wanted to commend him and his diligence in doing that and making sure that we usually ours was like 6 pages. We had 74. I didn't read it when I clicked print, but double-side printing. It definitely was a breath of fresh air just to be able to have all that information, be able to see that stuff with, and him being able to answer those questions that we had. So just wanted to say that.
So, Josh, was anybody late to that meeting?
I signed some NDAs that require me not to say anything.
Nobody's telling on you, Jackie.
Thank you, Josh. Any other public input at this time? Nothing? Any trustee input? No? Manager's report.
Just 2 things. I believe Councilman Dean already spoke about the legislative luncheon, so thank you so much to the Chamber for hosting that, and for Councilman Dean for providing us with some very valuable information to hit up our federal counterparts for money. Once all of this stuff clears up, we have got a lot of asks, and worst they can tell us is no, so I'm going for that. That is great. And the second thing, I will turn it over to Director Gandy, but Kyle and Kelly got to attend ICSC in Dallas last week, which I now call them Double K Development Group. That's what their new title is going to be from here on out, so I'll let you come up and give,
Special K.
Special K. Anyway, so thank you all so much for attending that, and take it away.
That's probably going to stick, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm writing it down right now.
Yep. Kyle Gandy, Economic Development Director, so I'll just continue on. Kelly and I attended ICSC last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I was just telling the mayor just a few minutes ago, I'm generally a pretty positive, driven person, but I've come back from that conference even more driven and positive than I was. In the coming days to weeks, we're going to have some new development announced here in the city. Super excited about that. We're hitting our stride. We've been working on relationship building. We've been working on kind of getting our name back out there. It's been out there, but the new DCOK that we've kind of launched here recently of late. And so we're seeing results. I'm very excited about that. I have some stats for January, really just the stats that I'm most proud of. So we have 7 COs that were issued in the month of January, which is more significant than we've had in recent months past. We've had anything from the Izquierdo Family Food Mart, which is right there next to Brahms on Sunny Lane, I-40 and Brahms That's at 1205 Sunny Lane. We've had 2 daycares, which we sorely need here in the city of Del City, open also in the month of January. So, and then a few others that construction and couple other shops. I just want to leave this podium. I'm excited. I hope all of you guys can see the excitement on my face, but we're on our way. So.
I can't wait. Thank you, Kyle.
Me either.
Director, before you, do you have any updates on Boot Barn?
Yes, so we issued their sign permit on Friday, I believe it was, and the sign went up today. So I don't know if it's complete, but when I drove by about, I think it was probably about 1:30 or 2, they had almost had it completely installed. They did come in for their CO inspections. I think they have their building, they're waiting for fire, so we're very close. I don't have an exact date, but they've still got to stock it. I suspect they'll do that over a weekend, so we're probably just a couple of weeks out.
That's great, thank you very much.
Yep. Any other questions?
You brought back El Phoenix chips for us, yes?
No, no El Phoenix.
I tried, Councilman Tatum, I really tried. Anyway, and that's everything I have, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, Kyle.
Moving on, item 5 minutes, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve minutes of the regular meeting of DCEDA of January 21st, 2025.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second?
Any discussion? Take a vote. Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye?
Trustee Eason?
Aye.
Trustee Dean?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Item 6, presentation, Dining in Del City, recipient, February 2025. Presentation from the Economic Development Team on the Dining in Del City, recipient for February 2025, Casa Juanito. It's located at 4718 Southeast 29th Street.
Make a motion.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm back again with the Dining in Del City for February. This month, as you said, it's Casa Juanito. I'm excited to announce them this month. What makes Casa Juanito stand out among Tex-Mex restaurants? Their cafeteria-style service, friendly atmosphere, and deep-rooted family tradition. The owner, Gamero Lopez, began his journey in 1983 as a dishwasher, working his way up to restaurant manager in 1996. Then in 2006, he officially took over as the owner, continuing the restaurant's mission of serving delicious, authentic food to the community. You may notice that the sign still says Sanchez, a tribute to the restaurant's legacy, passed from family to family. Today, Casa Juanito remains a cherished local favorite, thanks to Gamaro's son, Eric, who now manages daily operations alongside his father. It's truly a family-run business with aunts, uncles, cousins, and even Eric's wife lending a helping hand. At Casa Juanito, tradition isn't just a word, it's the heart of everything they do. So, with that being said, we'll show the video. And Eric, the son, couldn't be here tonight, but again, we'll have this certificate signed and then I'll drop it off to him tomorrow.
That's a catchy ad.
Towards the bottom.
Tacos.
The music's a little fast on that one. I had to do AI generation for that because I did not want to risk inappropriate words since I don't know Spanish that well. So I was trying to pick a good song and I was like, I don't know that well. So, thanks. So, here's the certificate. And they brought chicken enchiladas and cheese enchiladas that we have for samples.
Take recess.
Anything from you, Kyle? No, you just want to eat, right? All right, we're going to take a 10-minute recess so we can all chat down.
Okay. How long's the recess?
Don't
10
gotta tell
minutes?
me twice.
10 minutes.
So question for the economic development team. So you give us this nice enticement, but they're not open till tomorrow morning?
Yeah, they closed at 2:30.
Dang it.
Oh, they were not going to give us any food, but I went at noon and just got some food.
You took care.
Yes.
Well, you kept it warm, you did a great job.
I think that's because they have to go through Saturday night, so Sunday is part of the day. Kyle, we got 1 minute. What's your best economic development joke? 3 developers walk into it? No? Okay.
I guess I need to find some of those.
Did your feet hurt?
Yes.
It's a lot of walking.
I plead the fifth.
We got In-N-Out Burger, but we're eminent domaining your house to put it. There's a room in the back.
You can renovate that in a heartbeat, can't you?
Okay, we're back. Thank you, Casa Juanita, for supper. That was excellent. Okay, item 7, memorandum of understanding for execution of events by the City of Del City Chamber of Commerce. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the City of Del City Chamber of Commerce to provide services to the community, including organizing events that promote tourism and community engagement, allocating funds from hotel motel tax not to exceed $17,000 for the execution of specific events during the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2025. Authorized chair to endorse the same. Looking for a motion?
Make a motion to approve the resolution as, or the MOU as written.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just second. And authorize the chair to endorse same.
Good catch, JD. Any discussion?
No.
Up here? How about a message from Joe Schultz? And Special K, I'm sorry, I left you out.
Special K. Oh, no. I think in this, we have addressed some of the concerns that were brought up in the last council meeting. Since that, we have already announced about the Armed Services Parade on May 17th. You'll see an official announcement tomorrow, but the Tulsa Warbirds will be joining us, so we will be having our flyover with them. And so I'm excited to announce that, and as we move forward with this. And then for the senior citizen event, following approval of this MOU tomorrow, we will be announcing our senior citizen prom. That'll be happening on April 4th at 6 p.m. at the community center. And so Homestead of Del City, which is the living center there off of 44th, which is technically in Oklahoma City, just right across the street, they will be helping and assisting in that as they put on several senior citizen events.
So are the rules going to be just like high school prom, where you have to have one of the seniors take one of the juniors? So if that's the case, I got to find me a date?
Yes.
Got it.
At this time, we'll be having 2 different pricings for tickets to go to the event, one for senior citizens and those for who are under 55. The kind of idea is to still allow that, if someone wants to, take their grandma or grandpa out, that they can still come and not feel like they're uninvited.
So we'll have a king and queen for the
Yeah.
prom?
You better dress to the nines. Yes, we have chaperones. So
Awesome.
boys and girls side.
Why are you addressing me, sir?
I looked at you when I said your thought.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, or does it come pre-spike since we're adults? That's interesting.
I will be reaching out to a couple catering options. Hopefully, usually Pelicans does our events, and they usually do bring a bar, so. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
It's for the parade.
Yes.
And it's for the senior
Senior event, Neighbors Night Out,
Neighbors Night Out.
which will be for Del City, citywide. And so I have a meeting with the heads of the neighborhood watches this Thursday. And so we'll be discussing the plans for that. And then that will take place in June. And then this will be for, as well as to begin the official transition for Dining at Del City to be under the chamber.
Great.
Hey, boss, I want to win this prom king thing. Can I borrow one of your classic cars?
No.
All right, any other questions for Josh? Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
All right, let's take a vote. Trustee Dean?
Aye.
Trustee Eason?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Brandt? Chair votes aye. Any other trust input?
Make a motion that do you want to go to the MSA? We adjourn to the Del City MSA.
Second?
Take a vote. Trustee Dean?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? Trustee Eason?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now adjourned.
Call to order the Del City Municipal Services Authority. Joe, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dean.
Here.
Trustee Finch.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Tatum.
Here.
Chairman Eason.
Chairman is here. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the Del City Municipal Services Authority on a non-agenda item? Seeing none. Trustees? Trustees? Nope. Seeing none. Moving on. Item number 4 is the manager's report.
Deputy Director Parrott apologizes that she can't be here for any additional updates, but now we can start asking for stuff while she's not here and she can't tell us no. The only update I have for you is the water treatment plant RFP is now closed. We are getting that information together and the funding together, and we will have that for you all to vote on in 2 weeks for the total media filter replacement. Have to make sure I say that right. And that's the only item I have.
How many people tried for the RFP?
I believe 4, might have been 6, but I will double check.
Excellent.
All right. Moving on. Item number 5, minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of DCMSA of January 21, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Takes vote. Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Tatum?
Aye.
Trustee Finch?
Aye.
Trustee Dean?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 6, resolution, Appendix A, resolutions of Municipal Services Authority repealing and replacing Article 1, Sections 1 through 8. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, or deny Resolution Number 0203-2025A, a resolution of the Del City Municipal Service Authority, City of Del City, Oklahoma, repealing and replacing in its entirety Article 1, General Regulations of Subpart 1, Resolution Number 9870 of Appendix A, Resolutions of Municipal Services Authority to update general policies and procedures of the Municipal Services Authority, repealing all conflicting resolutions, providing for severability, and authorize the chair to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 0203-2025A, resolution number 9870 of Appendix A, resolution of Municipal Services Authority to update general policies and procedures of the Municipal Services Authority, repealing all conflicting resolutions and providing for severability, and authorize chair to endorse same.
I'll make it second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. So anyway, so there's, the questions are out there about some of the charges. And so we're wanting to go and make sure that with our new resolution, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. Let's get our stuff to where not just this current administration slash, the personnel out there doing this stuff knows what's going on, but also the future. And so one of the questions I had is regarding deposits and termination fees, and basically penalties, the redeposits or the additional deposit. So I've had many times where people are in financial hardships and have, or whatever the situation is. One is just forgets to go and pay the bill. Two, happens to show up on Friday at 1 o'clock and the doors are closed, whatever their situation is. Then with the additional $25 late fees, these things, all the rest. But anyway, whatever happens, at some point, we end up with some people with terminated water. And a lot of times the terminated water is because they can't, something has happened such as a water leak, those kinds of things going on. And so what I'm concerned about is that if we have a residence that's in good standing, and, and then after the good standing, at some point, the deposit was returned. I don't know if my deposit's been returned after I've owned the house for 20 years. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But if mine has been returned over the years, now all of a sudden to go and get my water turned back on, besides the, the $95 to $120 deposit that you have to do on the initial account because my deposit has expired, you're now going to have to add on the extra $100 fee. So now that's $220 plus, any of the back stuff, your back bills, this stuff. And so I'm just worried that double doing, and in particular for people who have had a good account and a good standing and have gotten their deposit back, why would we want to go and cause a double deposit to be put onto that account on the first event?
All the deposits, all the reissue for reopening water, all the penalties for late payment, that all falls under the discretion of the city manager. The city manager can waive any of those fees at any time, as he has done. I've seen him waive late fees many times.
What I've been finding out lately is our city manager and our administration is having to do a tremendous amount of stuff other than city manager type of jobs. And this is one of these ones, which is, the question is not about whether or not for a specific person that we should go and waive this double deposit. You're already getting $100. So everybody else who has their deposit, you're getting $100 out. For us, you're going to get another $100, put onto that part.
So your objection is to if you've had an established account and
And your deposit's been returned.
And then you, apply for a new service?
And then let's, no, you're not applying for new service. It's just for some reason, let's just say you went in the hospital and, and of course, like I said, whatever reason your water's terminated, the senior citizen, whatever case we want to come up with for an impoverished or whatever else.
Hardship case. Call it a hardship.
Whatever this part is I've been personally witnessing to lots of people who've begged for help and whatever else through this stuff. And for that particular spot, it seems that we should not be double charging whenever we've had a residence that has proven for more than 3 years, at least 3 years before your deposit's eligible to be returned, or perhaps for me who's never had a late deposit, maybe I didn't put a very big deposit at the beginning. For that part, why not just charge me $100, which is the same as what everybody else would be getting, instead of $200?
I do know by personal experience, because I've helped several people with their water bill, that we've helped people with hardship cases. If they've had a water leak, when it's fixed, they have to bring their bill, what the bill was, they bring it in and we waive it, we put it back to where it was normally. So it's not like that we don't work with our citizens. They just have to call us and talk to us.
Right, and that's the problem that I see, which is most, things are not, if I go on to our utility things, it doesn't have a big banner on our website, which of course we're hoping our 80-year-old people are going to be able to read our website, that says, hey, if you have a problem, call Pam. Pam was our water lady before, 4 years ago. She, Pam, and then luckily we got Brittany to take over. Call Pam, again, for this particular situation, I just don't think it's fair, and there's no reason for us to be getting involved whenever we're going.
Think about the reason that we have a late charge. Why do we even have a late charge? If someone's late paying their water bill, why do we have a late charge? Because people take advantage of it, and it costs the city money. We have to look out for the good of the whole city, not one person.
So they're already being charged the late charges.
So, am I correct in saying, Joe, can you waive a late fee for somebody? Is that something that's under something you can do?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
So it's not just the city manager.
He can't do it without trust authority, according to this resolution.
I mean, at that point,
Trust
then,
manager
I could call JD and say, hey, I've got a friend, can you please just waive his thing? Joe can do the same thing.
At that point,
and that's not where we wanna go.
as long as the trust manager approves it, yes, those fees can always be waived.
He can designate that authority to Joe. Well, the reason we have late charges to begin with is to keep people from abusing the system. We have to look out for the city, not just one or two citizens. We have to look for the whole city. Why do we even have to have a late charge? It's because people take advantage of that situation and it costs the city money. Now, you can examine this on a case by case. If someone truly has a hardship, and I can't even name how many cases I've seen where the late fees have been waived. We're not without compassion.
Again, this is I'm sure that we're a very good council. Let's just say that we're the best one. But what is the next council going to be doing? What is the next manager going to be doing? And again, that's where the question is, let's write something that we want to go and have throughout this. So again, your question
What would you have the policy be? If you can't have a late fee. We're just talking about late fees now, right?
So this.
Well, can I add, I'm so sorry, I would also like to add the fact that I'd like to make it easier for people to pay their bills. I'd like to see what our website is going to look like, because I know that we have one coming up apparently where we will be able to see our usage, where we should be able to pay things online. I'm still waiting for the rollout of that. Is that coming sometime soon? Do we know about that?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
that's
did you have a question? Yeah.
So we're in the middle of discussion, Ms.
I pay online, but there's also auto draft. You can walk in. We also have a drive-through, so it's pretty accessible for citizens to pay their water bill.
And I have heard also some complaints. Now, these are not my own complaints, but these are things that I do hear from my constituents, that yes, it does get pretty difficult. And then also turning in information for any new resident or for any new business. I understand that it has to you cannot email anything, everything has to be presented in person, or can we actually do things through the internet, online?
Are you talking about the application for service? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Has to be in person?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a photo ID.
Well, all of those things in other places can be done digitally or through the website or through the software or through contacting customer service. And I'd also like to mention that we are making a lot of changes very quickly on sanitation. And I would like to see what our future website is going to look like. How much easier is it going to be? I definitely agree in raising fees for certain things, but not in regards to what Dean is talking about. I think that is a little bit aggressive, but I would also like to see more so we can give our citizens more.
So just to give an example on the additional $100, that is standard for utility companies, which is where we're coming up with the idea, and it's because whenever you have proven, and I realize that I do have the authority, as do many of my staff members, I've given authority to them to make these modifications. You can do 12 payment arrangements a year. We have many ways that we can do business, but if you are to have been terminated, didn't pay your bill, we had to pay out the deposit, and let's just say, for example, the bill is $150, your deposit only covered $90, you are now an increased risk for the utility company, just like you would be for OG&E, ONG, your cable bill, your cell phone bill, and that's where the increase in the deposit idea came from, if you have that termination already on your record.
So we follow the lead of a lot of the larger utility companies such as ONG. I have a question real quick. I'll be off topic. I mean, it's not off topic, but, so if a landlord turns on the water, they turn it on in their name, and then they move a resident or a citizen into there to live, is that against the law?
It's against the resolution, against ordinance, thank you, yeah, not the law, but an ordinance. Thank you, Joe, for the correction.
So it's against the
Correct.
law
It needs
for
to be.
someone to live there that's not on the water bill?
Right, they need to be, whoever the renter is needs to have the water in their name.
Okay, yeah, that question was brought to me before a citizen. So thank you.
So going back to our original part, so the $100 is not a fee, it is an additional deposit.
Which can be returned to them over time.
And so going back to, it's an additional deposit, so going back to that part is after somebody who has, the only thing that this applies to is somebody with good standing, right? Because that's the only way you get your deposit back. And so for the very first offense, should you be double punished? That's
I think it's very common for the very first offense to be very lenient on that. And that's what I've seen.
And so that's
There's a
the
history of this. I've seen the leniency involved in this. The problem is, if you start taking away some of the repercussions of paying late, it makes it easier and it makes it.
They're right. So the repercussions of paying late for that person who has had a good history is that you're going to pay $95 or $120 to reestablish your service as the deposit. Then you're going to have to pay, of course, all the back fees in this. So instead of that $25 and the $25 late fee, so you're going to have the $25 late fee, we're going to have your $120 or $190 or $95 deposit, and it just gets down to, it just doesn't seem that somebody who has a good history, everything else with the city is all good, that person has to pay $200 to get their water on, and the people who have no history or still have the deposit only has to pay $100.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can promise you OG&E does not care if I have good standing or not. They don't care that I lived in the same house for 42 years. If I make a mistake and I'm late, I'm late. I have to pay the fees and the fine.
Did you get your deposit back from OG&E?
Yes, I've lived there 42 years.
You think you got it back?
I know I got it back.
So, it's up to you guys.
Well, there is a reason, if you don't pay your electric bill, you're going to pay a reconnection fee and you're going to maybe put a bigger deposit.
Everybody pays the same. Let's not go down that same road. Everybody pays the same except for somebody who has a good history. That's my problem. Everybody pays the same except for that same.
So you want to take away the reward of having a good history?
Okay, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe we just have a communication error, which is, if you have a good history, such as somebody who lives in my neighborhood who's lived there from way before the tornado, has no deposit, has everything else, she's been paying her bill every last minute, she goes in the hospital for whatever reason, missed the letter saying to go pay the bill, she's now got the $25, and now she also has the, then eventually goes to termination cutoff. That person who has been the best resident that we have had, maybe gone down and cut the trees down at the park, she is going to have to pay $200 to get it reestablished. The person, everybody else in the city who has their deposit Everybody else, whether you have good history or bad history, that still has deposit, they only have to pay $100. So that's why it's questionable about whether or not it's fair.
So if I was that lady, I would call my council person. and I could-
We can't,
and-
most people don't even want to call and talk to us at all. I mean, that's the
I
problem.
get calls all the
Yep.
time, and if they can't get me, they walk in the flower shop.
And so, Joe, whenever you get these calls, do you go and say, here's the secret, call your councilman? You don't. The city does not. I mean, of course, you don't answer the phone. No. Whenever he does. But no, the city is not going to go and tell you the secret. Oh, yeah, you've been such a great one, all this other stuff, why don't, there might be a way out. Why don't you call your councilman? They don't do that. The policy that's here is what's to stay. So again, all it has to do is there's just a question in my mind. It's talking about deposits, and then it comes down here, an additional deposit required for termination. And it's like going, wait, and that's where I asked. I go, does this mean that not only this plus the old deposits?
So the other side of this, and I'm just going to say this out loud for the administration that we have currently, like you said, the 5 best council and...
Plus the best city, yeah.
Right, so
yeah.
with what we've got going on right now, we do have discretion to be able to override any of these things, but we have to have a deterrent to keep people, just like with the late fee not being 1% of your bill. If your bill is only $80 and so you only have to pay 8 cents or whatever for a late fee, like some of the bigger organizations or companies do, we still have to have some sort of way to deter people from defaulting on bills, doing things like that, because I understand exactly where you're coming from with that one good standing person.
But again, your thing is that you need to have some way to deter them. My 80-year-old example, she has to pay $100. Claudia, whoever has moved here the latest, they have to pay $100. It's the same thing. But now, if we got it evened out. But no, it's not even in here. So again, there is deterrence. What is your deterrent? I mean, the question is are you just trying to be obnoxious, or are we just trying to get the deterrence, which is, hey, lady, you shouldn't have gone to the hospital, but hopefully by that point we can maybe stop it. But anyway, no matter what, there is a deterrence because you still have to pay the $100.
We could pick apart just about any rule in the city.
This is only one rule, Mayor. I know that we can, and I would like to go and pick out all the rules and go through all of the ordinances.
Not tonight.
That's right.
So deterrents are in place because history has taught us that if there's not some sort of deterrent, the process will be abused. Unfortunately, we can't tailor every deterrent for every individual. We have to have a broad scope that we can manage. Now, there are exceptions. There's always some case where there's exceptions. That's why we give the city manager and Joe, and probably Brittany, can Brittany waive a fee? We have multiple people on staff that can take care, that can show compassion to this lady. It's not without help, but if you take the deterrent away, I think you'll see widespread abuse of late payments that will end up costing the city money. Those late payments and fees and deposits are all put in for a reason.
And just my last thing, remember, is I'm not asking to take away the $100 deterrent. So everybody understands that, right? So no matter what, everybody would be treated, if you did what I'm asking, everybody would be treated equal. The lady, my example pays $95, everybody else pays $100. Or if mine was a renter, somehow got their money back, my person would pay $120, whereas everybody else pays $100. So again, I'm not talking about taking away fees. That's it. Sounds good, right? I'm ready to move on if anybody else is. So.
All right, in a perfect world, we wouldn't need deterrents. Everybody would pay their bill on time, and the city would just go right down the road, and we'd never lose money on water. So we're not in a perfect world. All right, let's move on with number 6. We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Looking at you, Scott. I know, I'm messing with you.
I do want to say that recently I had a lady call, and she was like, "Oh, Pam, I messed up." She said, "I went up there to pay my bill, and it was already closed." And she said, "I don't know what to do." I was like, "Yes, our city hall closes at 11:30 on Friday." So I got her information, and I immediately called JD, and he said, "Just tell her to put it in the night box, and we'll make sure and flag it on Monday morning." And they did. It did help the lady, but I get calls all the time like that. So we are the best council. We do help our citizens.
All right.
And I think as long as there is a standard where we can waive a late fee for hardship cases, I really don't
Case
see
by
a...
case.
What's that?
Case by case.
Case by case, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I don't see a problem with that then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, any
I
further?
see how a case-by-case could actually go wrong. I mean, right now, we've got a wonderful council, like we've already confirmed, but 2 to 3 years from now, what's that council going to look like? And if I continue to depend on my city manager to make those decisions, or for me to call and give him every friend of mine or every person that calls with, you know, any kind of a hardship. Let's say she tells me it's a hardship and it may not be, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to always depend on the city manager and his discretion, or, you know, for Tatum or for me to just call and say, "Hey, this person, please flag it. This person, don't give them the late fee. Don't give them any fees." I don't think that that's, I think it's great, like you said, in the real world, but in the end, that's putting too much pressure on the city manager and the employees to say, Joe has gotten full-fledged that he can just, you know, now go ahead and not take away people's fees. I mean, that's going to put him in a position to where people are going to be going to him and saying, "Hey, I've got a hardship because my cat died."
Well, and that is their job, to take care of our citizens. It's not a hardship on them. They get paid well to do their job and take care of our citizens.
And just to be clear how our parameters work, our utility clerks and our utility coordinator have parameters of what they can take care of, set up arrangements, et cetera. Above them, their supervisor, the deputy director of public works, has authority to do more than that. And then in addition to that, the city clerk's office has the ability to do more. And then, of course, my office has the ultimate authority of whatever it needs to be. So they have multiple ways that they can go up the chain if and when necessary. So we do have, everyone has these capabilities when needed.
So the problem as I see it, if you codify and say, well, if you're wearing a blue shirt, you don't have to pay it.
We can't even go down that one, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, because
Yeah.
it's literally, it's a hidden thing. You don't even know whether or not you're going to have to, I wouldn't know if I would have to pay $100 or $200. I don't know if you gave me my deposit back.
So it is the same for all of us.
So I wouldn't know that. You know, that's, but anyway, but whenever I would know, as soon as I went to go pay it, and they go, "My God, I had to pay $500 between the water usage and this and that to get it turned on." So sorry, there is one new thing to think about, which is, why are we doing this? Because we keep on saying it's a fee, which makes sense. Why? Because we have to go send somebody out to go turn it on. We got to go send somebody out to turn it back on. This is a deposit. The city's not getting any money for the extra work it does. And so maybe instead of this being called a deposit, this should be being called a fee, because...
But this 190, if that's the case, could be refunded to them once their good standing is reestablished.
Right, but I don't
over
think
time.
anybody, again, we're getting back to the bad guys. Let's get back to the bad guys, the people who didn't pay their bill and really don't care and whatever else, run the stop sign, you know, the same guy who probably ran the stop sign where I was at. We're talking about those people. It's a fee. It's work for the city. Why in the world are we going to be giving this $100 back? This is a cutoff. To me, it should be a cutoff fee, not a deposit.
So we have a termination fee. This is when you come back after the bills are paid or everything is cleared up and you want to reestablish service. Like we said, the additional risk is what's causing the additional setup to the deposit. But just like you said, if this is the bad guy, over time, you know, the bad guys can convert back to good if you have 12, 16, 24, 32 months, whatever the established time is. I have to pull it up in the resolution for them to get their deposit back. And so that is their opportunity to get that number, but this is that enhanced risk. So if we had to terminate them again, you know, Billy over here didn't pay his bill again, now instead of losing out on the extra $30 or whatever, because we only had a $90, now we have enough of the deposit to cover that entire bill.
But I don't think, so right now, I don't know of a termination fee. I did not see that in here. So is there so I've been saying $200. Are you now saying it's now $300 for grandma to turn on her water?
That's not fun.
I know, but again, there's not an additional fee, is there?
Not a termination fee, it's a
There-
reinstatement fee. There's one or two,
What is the reinstatement?
it's $25.
No, 50.
$50.
50. No, I did see the 50. I did see the 50.
50 is the term fee.
But I want to point one other thing out we're talking about. So we're talking about the discretionary, that we have the ability to do this. But it's your clerk's office is going to know who the serial repeat offenders are. I think when we talk about letting it go, if it's the first time, in all of your examples, I think anybody they talk to is going to waive that. But what you guys may not know is when they call you and say, hey, the city's done this, you call the clerk's office, this might have been the third or fourth time to do it. That's the staff who's going to know who's abusing the situation. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, working the system. Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
and
let's move on.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, so, but Councilman Dean and Councilman Brown did mention that we're on the horseshoe now, and we do have a good council, and we do have a great city manager, and they will waive these hardship fees as the case may be. But we're not going to be here forever. So I'm just curious, this doesn't need to be an ordinance, but you say the city clerk can waive
be
a
a
fee.
policy.
In the policy, do you have something
Said
in
It
written?
could be a policy.
It could be a policy. Do you have something in policy now that says who can waive those fees?
So for me, it's not a policy per se, it's considered an executive order and an executive directive coming from my office authorizing these things. But Joe, I also believe inside these resolutions, it does give the city clerk's office similar authority to myself, yes?
I believe so, yes.
We can't legislate against future people. It's just, you can't codify that against bad guys. If there's going to be bad guys sitting up here after our terms have served out, the time to work on that is when they're in there. We can't codify against future bad people, because people that want to work the system, people that want to work around these things will always find a way. They'll always find a loophole to get around it. So I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to legislate that there's a sympathetic person sitting in this chair. You can't do that. It just doesn't work.
No, I understand. I understand we can't do that, but I would like something in place that does say for future administrations, this has been our policy in writing. This should be continued. They can decide differently in the future if they so choose.
And that's one vote away from being revoked.
Well, I understand.
You can't legislate against bad people in office. It just doesn't work. All right. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. Let's take the vote. Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Nay.
Trustee Tatum. You're welcome.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Nay.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Move on to item number 7. Resolution Appendix A, Resolutions of Municipal Services Authority, amending Subpart 2, Resolution Number 020684G, Sections 2 and Section 2.1. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modifications, or deny Resolution Number 0203-2025B, a resolution of the Dale City Municipal Services Authority, City of Dale City, Oklahoma, amending Section 2, container requirements, and Section 2.1, return pickups of Subpart 2, Resolution Number 020684G of Appendix A, resolutions of Municipal Services Authority to update trash collection policies and procedures for the City of Dale City Municipal Services Authority, repealing all conflicting resolutions and providing for severability, and authorized chair to endorse the same. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to deny resolution number 0203-2025B. Authorized chair to endorse same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, remind me again why we're denying?
So after the conversation we had had at the last meeting regarding the sanitation, we've also met with Councilwoman Brown and Councilman Dean over some ideas, thoughts, and comments they're having with sanitation, as well as the deputy director and the assistant city manager and myself. We are taking this back to come up with some new ideas, new solutions, and new programs before we bring it back to you all. I had to bring it back officially at this meeting because you tabled it 2 weeks ago, so I legally have to put it back on the agenda at your request, so I am asking for this denial.
Any further discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion is denied. Any further trust input? See none. I will ask for an adjournment to somebody.
I make a motion that we adjourn to the Dale City City Council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Tatum.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now adjourned from the Dale City Municipal Services Authority. I call us back to order in the Dale City Council meeting. We are at item number 9, surplus printers. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or deny declaring items listed in Exhibit A as surplus to the city's needs. Authorize council to declare surplus and determination of final disposition as approved by city manager. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve declaring items listed in Exhibit A as surplus, authorize council to declare surplus, and determination of final disposition as approved by city manager.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I was curious, what are the items? There's numbers, there's model numbers, but it didn't have, is it printers? It's printers, okay.
Hit your button, Joe.
Sorry about that. Yes, ma'am, they are. I forgot the description. They are all printers.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And these are all printers that we are now leasing.
No, these are printers that we are not leasing. We own and they're obsolete.
Okay. Any further discussion? Take the vote. Councilwoman Finch?
What?
Sorry.
Aye.
Lip got in the way there.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean. Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 10, participation in Federal Justice Assistant Grant Program with other metro agencies. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or deny authorizing participation in a Federal Justice Assistance Grant Program as a sub-grantee with Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County, and other metro agencies, allowing staff to secure funding totaling up to $9,840 for the proposed purchase. This funding from the grant will be used to purchase replacement body armor for officers. Authorize mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve authorizing participation in a federal justice assistance grant program, allowing staff to secure funding totaling up to $9,840 for the proposed purchase. To purchase replacement body armor for officers, authorize mayor to endorse same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take a vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 11, rescind donation of 5 police vehicles. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or deny the rescinding the donation of surplus of 5 police vehicles, including emergency equipment attached, that were declared surplus by the council on October 7th, 2024, and approved for donation to Metro Technology Center. Metro Technology Center has not taken possession of the identified vehicles in Exhibit B. Authorize the final disposition as approved by the council. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve rescinding donation of surplus of 5 police vehicles to Metro Technology Center. Authorize the final deposition as approved by council.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion carries. Move on to item number 12, donation of 5 police vehicles. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny the donation of surplus of 5 police vehicles, including emergency equipment attached to the Boley Police Department, Boley, Oklahoma. All vehicles identified in Exhibit C were declared surplus by council on October the 7th, 2024, and the donation rescinded to Metro Technology Center. The Boley Police Department will use these vehicles to better equip their officers to patrol the town. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the donation of 5 police vehicles to the Boley Police Department in Boley, Oklahoma.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir. So when we've started a process to try to get our police vehicles replaced, and one of the thoughts was is to, of course, buy our police trucks with a higher resale value, all the rest of the stuff. So this is fantastic, and I want to keep doing this, and we have lots more of these old vehicles to get rid of, Chief. The question is, Chief, as you're looking for places to send some or people requesting some, is there a way to maybe ask them, if we were to ask you for $2,000 a vehicle, would you guys be willing to do that, or do they just move on to another place? Because
Have you ever been to Boley?
no, and again, remember, I've already voted and approved this. What I'm just saying is for any of these places where we might send our vehicles. And again, we're not really going to need this until we get to our trucks, which again, hopefully we continue our program, get back on schedule and buying and doing these things.
I've been working with Joe and the city manager here over the last couple of weeks on the propertyroom.com. The vehicles that actually have some value, we'll be getting some of those on the auction site to get that value out of these. These were pretty much worn out, and they were sitting there. They will still have some life in them, but I met with the chief at Boley and some of her staff last week, and they thought these things were like brand new cars compared to what they have. They've been given cars by citizens, and they sharing cars. She talked about one with 350,000 miles on it. So these were like, a godsend to them if they could get hold of these, and they just don't have a budget to be able to fork out really any money. They rely on donations like this, not only for this, but also like body armor. That's old body armor that when people get rid of that. So they're not very well funded through taxes, and to be able to give money out on that, they don't have that capability.
And I've heard, just for knowledge-wise, is our city has had different very old vehicles to where there was no place for your feet to hang on to, and their feet are dangling below it, and that might give you an extra horsepower or two as you're running. But
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been in similar places growing up as a city, so it's definitely a good deal.
When I started, we had cars that were 300,000 miles, so we've come a long way.
There is something that I would like to ask, if they would be willing to give us some Boley rodeo tickets, because I've heard that their rodeo is absolutely amazing. And then I'd also like to invite them to the parade, because I hear their horses, and, I mean, that's usually their patrol car is horse.
Yes.
So I would love to see them marching in our parade. I think that would be a great partnership.
Write that down, Josh.
And I'm serious about those Boley tickets, so I want to go.
So how many do I need to get? That way I can get the negotiations started.
So are those tickets $25? Yeah, okay. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to add, I just Googled the population of Boley. It's 1,000 people, so they don't bring in a large tax revenue. So I'm sure that the police were excited and ecstatic that they're getting decent vehicles.
Is all the emergency equipment still activated, and is it still good, or do they need to replace any?
No, they all work still. When
Does it still have the cage and everything? Yes. Okay, good.
Are these the rusty door Taurus? Yes. Thank you. Yeah, very good. All right, let's take a vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye, the motion carries. Let's move on to item 13, executive session. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve recessing to executive session pursuant to Oklahoma Open Meeting Act 25 OS 301 for the purpose of the following. Item A is discussing concerning confidential matters pertaining to pending investigations, claims, and actions pursuant to 25 OS 307B4, as the council, on the advice of its attorney, has determined that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the council to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation or litigation in the public interest. Item B is discussion concerning the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of any individual, salaried public officer or employee, including but not limited to city manager, pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. City attorney, does this meet the qualifications for executive session?
Yes, it does, Mr. Mayor.
And I will entertain a motion to recess to executive session.
I'll make a motion to recess to executive session.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch. Mayor votes aye. We are now recessed to executive session. Where'd Scott go? Oh, there he is. Scott, you ready? Back from recess, move on to item number 14, action from executive session. Item A is discussion, consideration, possible action deemed appropriate, if any, arising from discussions held in executive session concerning confidential matters pertaining to pending investigations, claims, and actions, as the counsel, on the advice of the attorney, has determined that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the counsel to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation or litigation in the public interest. I will now entertain a motion for item A.
I make a motion that we proceed as discussed.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item B. We're at 14B. Discussion, consideration, possible action deemed appropriate, if any, arising from discussions held in executive session concerning matters pertaining to the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of any individual, salaried employee, including but not limited to the city manager. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion for no action.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Any further council input?
Make a motion we adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Tatum.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. We are now adjourned.